think what we can do is that we will go the text till 12:30, right? 12:30. Yeah, 12:30. So at 12 we'll start the meditation. 12 to 12:30 we'll do the meditation. Okay. So let's turn to okay, 72. We're doing 72. 72. Seeing a causal state endowed with a simultaneous result is never visible, meaning that seeing a causal state, cause, state endowed with a simultaneous result, cause and effect result together is never possible. Cause should always precede the result, right? Okay, which means that if the set is permanent, then the set at the time of cause and set at the time of result, these two are identical, these two are the same. If it is same, if one is cause, the other should also cause. If the other one is result, the first one should also be result. So which means that the self, when the resultant state, the same permanent self was there at the time of the result. So the cause was there. And the result, the experience of results is also happening. So the result and cause, they should be simultaneous. This is totally against the rational logic. Okay. Then, now what is your answer? What is your answer? How do you account for that self is impermanent, who experiences the result is not the one who accumulated the cause, who accumulated the cause did not experience the result. So then the law of karma, how do you still account for the law of karma? Still defend the two principles of the law of karma, that you will not experience the result of the karma which you have not accumulated, that you are responsible for it, that you are accountable for the karma that you have accumulated. How do you account for these two things? Okay, so there we need to keep in mind what is known as, okay, let's say a person A, and yourself, a person A said 30 years ago, okay, is there anyone who's younger than 30? No. Okay, say 30 years ago, you accumulated some karma. And then 30 years later, you experience the result. You getting it? So you, that person A. So the person A at the time of the cause, and the person A at the time of the result, right? Now, in the Buddhist philosophy, particularly what is known as Prasangika philosophy, is very interesting. That is, say, the self, the person who experiences the result, the person who caused the result, who accumulated the causes. This person should be understood on two levels. Interesting, right? Okay, say the person, I say time, three times: past, present, and future. Right? The person which is confined to the past, the person who is confined to the present, the person who is confined to the future. So the person on the individual times. Person confined to the past, person confined to the present, separate. This is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Another is the person who spreads, who pervades all three times. Right? The person who pervades all three times. Don't worry, you may get lost a little bit. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this. You'll understand. It's very easy, it's not difficult. The person who spreads only in one time, person who spreads in all three times. If you say 50 years old Dorji, if you say 50 years old Dorji, this person does not pervade when he was 5 years old. You agree with me? 5 years old Dorji is very young. 50 years old Dorji is not that young. Then 70 years old Dorji is not present now. You getting it? So when you specify 50 years old Dorji, 30 years old Dorji like this, you are talking about the individual. the self of the individual time. Now there's a self which pervades all three times. Self within you, which pervades all three times. What is that? I. Dorji. Not the 50 years old Dorji. Dorji. Dorji, did he exist? 30 years ago? Yes. Does he exist today? Yes. If I live another 20 years, hopefully. Right? Then say Dorji will exist 20 years later. Right? So this Dorji pervades all three times. It's beautiful. Right? Whereas 10 years old Dorji pervades only the time in the past, not in the present and in the future. 7 years old Dorji will pervade only in the future, not in the present and the past. And 50 years old Dorji pervades only present, not in the past and the future. But the Dorji pervades all three times. You agree with me? Yes. Right? Okay. So the self, the same self, there's no two distinct self. There's no two distinct self, but the same self can be thought of in two ways. The self which pervades the individual time, and the self which pervades all three times. So you getting it? Okay. So self, this I, does this I pervade all three times? Dorji, does it pervade three times? Yes. Okay. This one thing. But Dorji at the time of 30 years ago was very young. Dorji at the time of today is 50 years. Dorji at the time 20 years later is going to be 70 years old. Right? So we are talking about the individual, the time, the Dorji in the specific time. And the Dorji is practicing the three times. What is that self which pervades all three times? With respect to you, who is that self? Huh? Who is that self which pervades all three times? Say who? How many of you pervades all three times? Who? Today's Geshe? Today's Geshe pervades all three times?
No, the Geshe pervades all.
Geshe pervades all three times. How? He pervades in past. How? Yes. Geshe was present when he was 10 years old, 5 years old. Okay, Geshe pervades future time? Yes, because he'll be, if he lives long, right? He'll be 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later. Okay, Geshe pervades today also, present moment? Yes. So Geshe is the one who pervades all three times. You getting it? Yes. Whereas if you say, today's Geshe, then it pervades only today. You getting it? Okay, let's say, today's Geshe pervades three times or what time?
Today.
Huh? No, there's no today time. Today is past, present, future time. Present. Okay. So today's Geshe does not pervade three times?
No.
Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Today's Geshe this morning. No. Right? No? This morning's Geshe was not today's Geshe? Yes. Today's Geshe this morning. Today's Geshe now. Today's Geshe this evening. Right? Three time or long time?
Pervades through today.
Through today. Through the three times of today. Right? It pervades three times. You getting it? You getting it? Okay. So that way, when you say Geshe pervades in three times of this life. Geshe pervades, because next life, very likely, he or she will not be given the same label, Geshe, right? Maybe different, of course, very likely, 99.9%, he will have a different label, a different name next life. So Geshe pervades in three times of this life. Today's Geshe pervades three times of today. You getting it? Okay. Now tell me, what is that self which pervades all across all times? Huh?
Mentally included self.
mentally into self. Anyone else? Huh? The label, not the person. Person does not travel. Okay, person does not exist in 50 times. Only label exists. Okay, label exists. And who gave the label?
The mind. I only label is on body and mind. So that label is travel.
Label is travel, not the person. The person doesn't travel. Person doesn't exist in the past. You are not from past life.
Not this side. Not this person.
The person from the past life? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes, so the person travels, not only the label.
The person doesn't travel.
If the person doesn't travel, then you do not have a past life. You don't need to worry about dying. Next life, you don't need to worry.
Past life, yes.
We have to worry, right? So there's a person which travels all three. Okay, tell me, is there a person what is that person? Or is there a person which pervades across all times?
Buddha.
Huh?
Buddha.
Buddha. Who? Buddha Shakyamuni.
Yes.
Buddha Shakyamuni, before he became a Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni was his existence before he became a Buddha. Before he became Buddha, he was not Buddha Shakyamuni. So, Buddha Shakyamuni did not pervade before he became a Buddha, time before he became a Buddha. So, what pervades across all times? Tell me.
The
Continuum.
stream of consciousness.
Stream of consciousness.
Subtle mind.
The moment I say something very exotic, you are afraid. Across all time, right? When I say this, you're a little scared. What could be that? No, just think I. You. Right? I. Just tell me. Just tell me. I. Say this. This I. When did it start? From beginner's time, it will go till what? Endlessly. So there was no time where this I did not exist. Did not exist, does not exist, will not exist. So this I is the one, I is the one which exists all across all times. Right? You don't have to say continuum, stream of life, and you don't make it exotic. Right? Just say I. Whereas you say Rashmi. Rashmi exists in 3 times across all times.
No.
Why not?
Because
You said that I.
No.
Oh,
This Rashmi will die with this lifetime.
okay. This Rashmi and Rashmi is confined to this life.
Yeah.
Right? Former life, it was not Rashmi.
No.
Next life is not Rashmi. But it was I.
Yeah.
Former life was I. This life is I. Next life also I. Right? Okay, that's good. You got an answer? So now the answer is that all across, what is here? Former life, I. This life, I. Next life, I. There's a continuum. On the basis of this continuum, you can speak about the I existing across all times. Right? Past life, I accumulated the karmas, and then the next lives, this I will experience the result. But this I, was it permanent or it keeps changing all the time? It keeps changing all the time. It is impermanent, yet you can still explain that there's an I, there's a self, the same self which accumulated the karma and which is going to explain the result without having to accept that the self is permanent. You getting it? Okay. So this self, what is really there? This I is a continuum. Continuum is there. So it says 72. Seeing the causal state endowed with the simultaneous result is never feasible. Through the shared continuum, the agent and experiencer of results are explained. Shared continuum meaning the one who experienced the result, who is that? I. When I accumulated the karma, who is that? Who was that? I. Right? Okay. So these two, the eye, is it the same eye or different eye? It's the same eye. So experiencing, how do you speak about the same eye? Because the experiencer of the result and the accumulator of the cause, these two share the same continuum. What is that continuum? Eye. You're getting it? This eye spreads across all the individual moments of the eye. You're getting it? Okay, good. 73. Now, yes.
In this case, who is the agent and experiencer? It's a
I.
It's explained with respect to the karma, right?
Yes. Experience of the result of the karma and accumulator of the karma. It's the same I. The I accumulated the karma, I experienced the result. So this I.
Is this the mind, Geshela? The I?
Okay, what is this I? Right? Okay, this is a good question. Okay. So the answer is, if you think that it's the mind, then you are either a student of Acharya Bhagaviveka or a student of Vajra Bhagaviveka. Maybe you're a student or a student. We never know, right? If you think that the mind is the one.
I think it's the mind. I think it's the soul, but then.
Okay. So the point is that the concept of soul, concept of Atman, right? Okay. Concept of soul and Atman. I'll give you my personal view, right? I'm not going to mix with anything else. I want to give my personal view now. I personally, some of the Buddhist scholars may not agree with me, but I would say is that soul and Atman, right? How I would begin by saying is that one, before we speak about the mind, soul, Atman, okay, keep them all away, right? What's the fact? The fact is that when I die, there is something which travels from this life to the next. There's something which travels. People believe in it, some people don't believe in it. Those who believe in this, those people will say that there's something traveling. Right? Those who believe in. Now I keep aside those who don't believe. And then whether it's real or not, this is a very big debate. Keep that aside. Right? Now let us have a conference amongst those people who believe in this, that there is something which travels to the next life. Right? Now in the West, in the Judeo-Christian background, with the West Judeo-Christian background, they call it, what travels, they call it soul. And then in India, right, in India, what travels, they call it Atma. In general, they call it Atma, right? And the Buddhists, they will say the self travels, or they will say, the mind travels. Buddhism will say the mind travels or the self travels. In the Judeo-Christian background, they will say the soul travels. And then in the non-Buddhist Indian traditions, they will say the Atma travels. Right? Okay. Now, this one thing. Then comes the philosophers. Right? What is that soul? What is that Atman? Then this discussion said, what is that? Tell me, what exactly is that which is traveling? This is not the discussion of the ordinary people. This is discussed among those people, right, who do away with the farm work, who do away with the business, right, who go with the books. Keep the books is their job now, right? What's else, right? Okay. Ordinary people, they are busy with their own responsibilities, whatever. And they say, what is soul? No, if it travel, it must be permanent, right? If it's permanent, then it should have no parts, it should have no parts changing. No, it should be a part, no parts. All these discussions are going. Then the discussion becomes more and more clear, start to take shape, right? So, it is my personal view, that in the West Judeo-Christian background, they speak about the soul. If you really ask what exactly is that soul, you go back in time, closer and closer towards the Abraham's time. then closer to Jesus Christ's time, right? Closer to his Prophet Muhammad's time, I don't think they would articulate to say that this soul is permanent, unitary, independent. They would not say this. There's a soul, right? Which is the I, which travels. If you leave it there, this much, this is exactly what the Buddhists accept. There's no contradiction. Still my view. I'm not going to say that this is Buddhism. Still my view. So therefore, there's no contradiction between accepting soul on this level with the Buddhist concept of the self-traveling to the next life. Then Atman, next Atman. Ordinary people, right? Oh, when we die, we'll migrate to the next life. Then what travels is Atman. That's perfectly alright. There's nothing wrong with this. Philosophers create all the problems. Philosophers, they do not have anything else to do. Right? What is this? They start debating amongst themselves. Debate among us. No, it should be permanent. It should be unitary. No, it should be impermanent. It is not unitary, it is multiple parts. Then philosophers, they discuss. Then it became more and more crystallized. And then in India, this discussion was very heavily done. In the West, it was not so much done. But amongst the Christian theologians, it is not that only in India, only in the Buddhist world, they are brilliant thinkers. That's not true. Brilliant thinkers are born in anywhere, even among Christians, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, Jains, Hindus, Christians, anywhere, right? Brilliant thinkers are born everywhere. So if you read the Christian theology, you will see that all these discussions were going there. What is God? What is God? And the Christian priests, they are discussing. God cannot be the universal object which decides everything. If it decides everything, there's contradiction. It creates the negativities also. God cannot create negativities. God cannot create evil people, right? So God must be explained as a love, not as the agent which decides everything. All these debates were going there. And then so many censorships were happening, right? Okay, this doctrine, which was once so prevalent, it must be banned now. All these things happening in many of the traditions. So therefore, these were all done by the philosophers and the thinkers. On the ordinary level, I will say that the soul is accepted by the ordinary people. Atman is accepted by ordinary people. There's nothing wrong for the Buddhists to accept that. This is my take. When is the problem? Is when this concept of the soul and the Atman, when they were crystallized by the philosophers through their discussions, right? Then the problems arise. Okay, this is my take. So therefore, there is something which travels to the next life. What is that? Now within Buddhism, there were more debates there. Within Buddhism also, what travels? So broadly speaking, two. Right? What travels is only the mind. There's nothing else which travels. Because it's only the mind that travels, therefore the mind is the self. And the Prasangika would say that mind travels, no doubt, but the mind is not the self. The self also travels. What is that? Imputed self travels. Just the imputed self travels, and the mind also travels, but mind is not the self. This is what the Prasangikas do. So for these we have to, go a little bit deeper. I'm very happy that, some of you like Arvind, you're really interested to learn more, right? Philosophy. This is very important. This is very important to learn more, and finally slowly go deeper, and get deeper and deeper conviction, not in a particular tradition, but conviction in the reality. What the reality is, right? That is so important, not necessarily with the Buddhist philosophy, Prasangika philosophy, no. Try to go deeper and gain conviction in what the reality is. Right? Okay, this is very important. Okay, now I think the students of Ashra Bhagavad is being rejected here. Page 70, stanza 73, who thinks that the mind is the self because the mind travels to the next line. Okay, it says the past and the future minds. The mind is made of three parts: past mind, present mind, and the future minds. Past mind and the future mind are not me, not the self. Because the past mind is gone, you are still here. The future mind is yet to come, you are still here. Right? So therefore, the past and the future minds are not you. If there is a mind which is self, it should be the present mind. Even the present mind is also not you. How? The next line. Are not self since they do not exist presently. And if the mind presently arising with the self, when it perishes, there would in fact be no self. Even the present mind. So that is the belief. When you say that the mind is a self, you are in a way saying that the self exists objectively. Okay, tell me, is there anyone who can really give me a very convincing answer? My question is, when you say that the mind is a self, implicitly you are accepting objectively existent phenomena, objective existence. Tell me how.
It can be explained.
Okay, let me ask the question again and then give an answer. Give the thought. My question is, if you believe that the mind is a self of the five aggregates, of the six elements, if you think the element of the consciousness, of the five aggregates, every to the consciousness, if you think that that is the self, implicitly you are believing in objective existence. How? Yes.
So we can explain, because there are many instances of reincarnation where the person in his previous life remembers when he is reborn, he remembers his past life experiences in the place where he lived and so on. So, which means that the same self.
Did you follow the question? What is my question? So the reason why I repeated the question is because this question is very important. So the answer that I'm getting from Geshe gives me the impression that Geshe did not follow my question. Anyone who can paraphrase my question first before you give the answer? Anyone who can repeat my question? Paraphrase it, or you can put it in your own words? Shweta? Yes.
If we believe that mind represents the self,
don't say represent, don't make it philosophical, make it very direct. If the mind is a self, represent and the self is very different. Don't make it, okay, listen, it's very important. With the philosophy, try to be as direct as possible with the usage of the words. Right? It represents, right? Then it will become vague, ambiguity will be there. Always try to remove the ambiguity. Right? If the mind is a self, then what's the problem?
if the mind is the self, then we believe in objectively existing self. How?
We believe in objectively existing self.
And how?
How? Very good. Okay, now give an answer. Anyone? Shantideva?
That means you're saying that the self is the mind, it's within the aggregates.
Yes, so what's the problem?
So that means that mind is independent of the body, is independent, mind is independent of the body and of the self.
Okay. If you get this answer, this will solve so many problems. And particularly His Holiness the Dalai Lama is so particular with the Prasangika philosophy. So he talks so much about the distinction between Prasangika and other schools. So these distinctions that he's going to make, you will see that it makes total sense to you. Okay, yes, Rabiji?
This would imply that the object is looking at the object, so it becomes truly existing. So that becomes.
Say it again.
The object is looking at the object.
How?
If the mind is self.
Yes.
So the mind, the mind looks at the mind.
Why?
The object is looking at the object.
How? Mind looks at the mind looks at the self, so what's the problem?
So actually, the subject has to look at the object.
Yes, fine. So the mind is also the subject.
Yeah, the subject.
Mind is the subject. Yeah, mind is the subject.
the mind is subject, so the subject has to look at the object.
Yes, the mind to look at the object like the flower.
But in this case, if
the mind is the self,
so the subject is looking at the subject itself.
so the self, when the self looks at the mind, the subject looks at the subject, right? Okay. In which case we can say that the mind, second moment of mind can look at the first moment of mind. That's possible, right? Okay, anyone else? Yes, Shirenji.
You're believing in a permanent self.
Okay, if you believe that the mind is the self, then you have to believe that the self is permanent. Okay, that's not necessary, right? Except for Prasangika, 99% of the Buddhist philosophers, except for Prasangika, they accept mind to be the self, but nobody believes the self to be permanent. Anyone else? This is a very important thing.
What do you mean by permanent? Do you mean permanent like that it dies, or you mean
Permanent, which is unchanging. Unchanging.
But unchanging is something can change and still be permanent.
Never. Something which changes can never be permanent. Can last for long, can last forever. It doesn't mean permanent.
No?
No.
So when something lasts forever, then what's it?
For example, it can be known as the eternal. It can be called as eternal, but even this word is a little ambiguous. We can say something lasting forever. As simple as that.
So permanent is not
No.
is similar
No,
to
no.
lasting forever.
No.
Okay.
Permanent means unchanging. Permanent means So therefore, with the study of philosophy, this is what will help us to solidify, to crystallize our concepts. Permanent means something not changing.
I want
Yes.
to attempt
Yes. Yes.
an attempt. So when we define objective existence, we are defining objective existence as that which is existing from its own side.
Yes.
Okay, that is the definition of objective existence.
Yes.
Now when we say something is objective, we say that it is not from the subjective side. And when we say it's not from the subjective side, we mean that it's not from the side of the mind.
Yes.
And then when we say we are looking at something from the, we are trying to see the emptiness of objective existence. We are trying to say that we are looking at something which is empty of being self. So therefore, when we are trying to say mind is the self, we are actually, what is the word? We are actually trying to say that it is not empty of itself.
How?
So therefore it becomes objectively existent.
Okay.
I went wrong somewhere.
No, it's not wrong. Yeah. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Shweta.
I think there's also a wrong answer what I was trying to, okay? First of all, what is objective existence? So I think when we remove all the parts, if something is left, this is what exists objectively.
Okay.
We remove all the aggregates and there is a self left, so this self exists objectively.
Yes.
So when we believe that mind is self, we believe that when we remove everything, mind will be left.
No, you have to remove the mind also then. Without removing the mind, how did you remove everyone?
But then you cannot prove that mind is a self.
Okay. So, but the point is that the Acharya Bhagavad still believes that the mind is self. He knows that remove all these things, the self is disappear. He knows that. Right? But he still believes that the mind is the self. So when you believe that the mind is self, implicitly you are accepting that self exists objectively. How? Okay, Ranagarji.
So 5 aggregates.
Yes.
So when we are saying that self is mind and they are the same thing, one and the same thing, if what goes to the next life is a self,
Yes.
then what goes to next life is one of the 5 aggregates also,
Yes.
which is body, which will also, or the 5 aggregates will also go to the next
Not
life.
5 aggregates, the mind. The mind will go to the next life.
Yeah, but
No. Aggregate mind will go to the next life. Aggregate consciousness.
So is it not one with the body?
No. The mind travels, the body doesn't travel. So therefore, this is how the Acharya Bhavivika made it very clear. I will explicitly label the mind, the consciousness to be the self, because the consciousns transmigration to take the next birth. Therefore, the consciousness is the self. This is his word statement that he made, not the body.
Yeah, but the body will not go. That's exactly the contradiction.
How is it doing? Self travels, the consciousness travels, but the body is left behind. So what's the contradiction?
So if self travels, mind will also travel, right?
Mind travels, yes. The body doesn't travel.
Right.
At the time of death, body and the mind is separated. Body is left behind and the mind travels. And the self travels. Yeah.
But when we say the mind, the parts of the mind which we are talking about, they will also travel, right?
Yes, parts of mind travel, yes.
So all the aggregates,
and not all, only the aggregate of the concept of the travel. Okay, make it last. Yes, cappuccino.
When we say the mind, the imputed self travel.
Yes, imputed self travels, mind travels, both travel.
So where's the objective existence?
The question is, if the mind is accepted as the self, implicitly you are saying that the self exists objectively. Okay, I've already given the answer 2 times, not the 3rd time, right? Okay, if I say this, you will understand it. You will get, oh yes, right? It slipped my mind. Okay, let's say, hey, where's Robin? Robin's not here? Oh, Robin is there, right? And now you see Robin. How to see Robin? Hey, where's Robin? Okay, first when I say, where is Robin? Is this acceptable to the conventional world? Yes, where is Robin? He's so interested in this philosophy, but he's not missing. He's missing. Where is Robin? So this analysis, is this acceptable to the conventional world?
Yes.
Yes. Then you say, oh no, he's there. No, he's there. Oh, Robin, I see. Hey, where is Robin? After seeing Robin, still I ask, where is Robin? This question, is it permissible to the conventional world?
No.
It is not permissible. Which means that you have crossed the border of the you have crossed the border of conventionality. When you cross the border of the conventionality, when you go into the which domain? You go to the ultimate domain. Now, in this domain, if you say that, yes, Robin is findable, you are looking for the ultimately existent Robin, right? Hey, where is Robin? I'm here, right? He is not there, my mind is Robin, right? He said, I'm here. This is how the conventional world accepts. Now when you say, hey, where are you? Where is Robin? Which of the public is Robin? Then I say that, oh, his mind is the Robin. Then I cross beyond the conventionality. When I say Robin's mind is Robin, this is not how the conventional world accepts. That happens only when you cross the border of the conventionality. Crossing the border of conventionality, you are looking for the ultimate objective. Ultimate objective means same. So therefore, implicitly you already accepted that the Robin exists objectively. You get this is so important. So Vaibhashika, the Bhaviveka, Acharya Bhaviveka, he said that my consciousness is me, is the self. Which means that Acharya Bhaviveka has accepted the self existing beyond the conventionality. So accepting the self, which is what is beyond conventionality? Ultimately. And already accept the self to be ultimately existent. Ultimately existent and objective existence mean the same. Right? Okay. Prasangika does not accept that. Prasangika says, where is Robin? There, finish. Don't explore more. The moment you go beyond, you will never find anything. Right? Stop there. You found Robin? Fine. Right? This is how the conventional world accepts. This is how the Prasangika accepts. So Prasangika fits so well with the conventional world. The Prasangika fits so well with the conventional world. You getting it? Okay. In the conventional world, when there's court cases, there's something called eyewitness, right? What do you mean by eyewitness?
Somebody who's seen it.
Huh?
Somebody who's seen it happening.
Somebody who has seen a person stealing. Somebody who's seen a person's mind stealing it?
Witness.
No, who's seen the person. That's finished. Don't say the person's mind, person's body. Don't say. Somebody who has seen the person. That is the ultimate. This is the most refined proof. This is the best of the proof. Right? Caught red-handed. It doesn't mean that I've caught his mind red-handed, stealing. Caught the person red-handed means you don't have to go into the aggregates. Right? That is the best proof. This is the best way. This is how Prasanna says, don't go beyond that. If you go beyond that, you're looking for objectively exists reality, ultimately exists reality. If you go beyond that. So we accept Robin's mind is Robin, you're already going beyond that. Going beyond that, you accept the Robin to be objectively existent, right? This is so cool. Okay, now we will do meditation. We'll do meditation, right? Okay.
Prasannika is saying that don't go beyond the conventional self.
For the self, when you look for the self, don't go beyond the conventionality. Right? You can look for the self, you can analyze the self, you can look for the self, but look for the self till the border of the conventionality. Beyond that, you will not find the self. Self will disappear. The table, where's the table? It's in front of you. Finish. Don't go beyond that. If you go beyond this, the top level of the table, is the table? No. The rest of the table? No, remove that. Table will disappear. Right?
So Prasangika view is conventionally objects exist.
Yes. Conventionally, wonderful. Wow. Prasangika view is conventionally objects exist. The moment you cross that, object will not exist. Conventionally, object exists means objects exist in the conventional analysis. With the ultimate analysis, object will disappear. You getting it? Very good.
Then we come back to the same thing that then reincarnation doesn't happen then.
Okay, that's again the problem. Reincarnation doesn't happen. Okay, Robin is so happy with this. Okay, and Abin is so happy with this. Why? How not happen? How not happen?
Because you're saying that there's nothing beyond the conventional.
Yes.
So when I'm dead and all my aggregates and everything are turned into ashes or whatever we turned into, then
Yes.
that's finished. The mind will also disappear, it's disintegrated into whatever. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's been finished. End of story.
This is end of the story with respect to who disbelief in the
No,
report.
this is according to Prasangika.
No, this is according to convention.
According to Prasangika.
How?
That's what you said. Don't go beyond the convention.
What is convention? Convention means that your body is dead, then you are dead. Then you disappear. Is this convention?
No, convention means that the mind also, that's what you said.
I did not say this. I say go up to the border of the conventionality.
I don't go beyond that.
That's fine. But what you said was that when the body dies, the person disappears. This is convention. This is what you said.
Yes, that's what.
And who said that this is convention?
If you said
When the body dies,
up to Reuben,
listen.
don't pass beyond that.
This is what I said. What I said.
Ultimate. So there is no ultimate Reuben. So that
Yes.
means he's got no mind. I mean, there's nothing of him or of any of us that is left to transmigrate anywhere else.
How not?
Because it doesn't exist.
Which doesn't exist?
Nothing exists objectively.
No, that's fine. So, nothing is objectively, but subjectively its mind subjectively travels to the subjectively existing next life. What's wrong with this?
So why did you say don't go beyond the convention?
Because subjectively, convention is subjective. Beyond convention is objective. Right? So when you go beyond convention, you're going towards the objective. Objectively, nothing exists. Everything exists where? Subjectively. Next life also exists where? Subjectively. Subjectively means don't go beyond convention. Don't go beyond the subjectivity. Don't go towards the objectivity.
But so there is a mind that travels. There has to be.
Yes, the mind travels. Yes, subjectively exists mind, subjectively travels to the subjectively exists in the next life. In other words, if I don't want to make it very verbose, then I would say the mind travels to the next life.
And that I, which accompanies the mind, is that subjective or objective?
Everything is subjective. Even the Buddha is subjective. Even the emptiness is
It
subjective.
lasts forever.
Yes, subjectively lasts forever.
I got it.
Wonderful.
I got it.
Okay, very good.
The self,
Abraham, yes.
The self is the
Right.
subject.
Self.
The self is the subject.
Okay, subject or subjective. Again, the two things. Subject and subjective. Right? Everything is subjective, but everything is not subject. The flower is not subject, the flower is subjective. Wow, it shows some people are very smart. Just give one line and people understand it. Rahim is amazing. Congratulations. Okay, any questions? Okay. If not,
Actually, just one thing. Prasangika view of conventionality is that everything exists objectively.
say it again.
Prasangika view of conventionality is that everything exists objectively.
Objectively, subjectively.
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 Oh, subjectively. Okay, objects exist in the conventional world.
Yes.
So, what is the corresponding view of
Viveka.
subjective view of Prasangika?
Everything is subjective according to Prasangika. Everything is subjective.
When you said that when you call mind the self, you necessarily go beyond conventionality.
100%.
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Okay, this is a good question. This is so important, right? In fact, looking for distinction between question. Okay, how is it that? Okay, by the way, I'm repeating the question, but Nalanda should decide or should correct me if my question, I did not get the question correctly. How is it that if somebody accepts a mind to be the self, a person should somehow accept the objective existence of the self? Is this question?
Yes, but a little different.
Little different. How?
When you call mind as self,
Yes.
how is it that you are going beyond conventionality?
Okay. When you accept the mind as the self, how is it that you are going beyond conventionality? Very good question. Okay. Anyone who likes to give answer? Anyone who likes to give answer? Vandula, you like to give answer?
Yeah, so in the conventional world,
Yes.
so body, mind together becomes a self.
Okay, body, mind together becomes a self.
So say that mind itself is beyond convention.
How?
Because then you are leaving apart the body. You are accepting that body is not self.
Okay, that's again very interesting. Okay, so in the conventional world, the body and mind together is known as the self. So when you say the mind is self, you will keep aside the body, right? So you cross the conventional world. Okay, that's also a very interesting thing. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else?
The conventional world, you see the person,
Yes.
you see their body, you don't
Yes.
see the mind, you don't
Yes.
connect. When you say I'm with someone, you mean the body and mind together.
Yes.
You don't analyze it, I'm talking to someone's mind or someone is thinking.
Okay, so when we say in the conventional world, when we say that I'm talking to Nagarjuna, I'm not specifying that I'm talking to Nagarjuna's body, I'm talking to Nagarjuna's mind, right? When I say, oh, I'm talking to Nagarjuna's mind, then the conventional world may think that either I'm crazy or I must be a highly realized psyche. psychics, you know?
Not necessarily.
Not necessary, I see. Okay.
Well, if you're not able to see a person, you can't interact with a person and know that person is there, is it so?
Yes, yes, yes.
Is it so?
No, the point is that when I talk to you, right? When I see you, oh, Ranagarj is there. This is how I see Ranagarj. This is how the conventional world accepts somebody identifying Ranagarj. You getting it? This is how the conventional world accepts. Say, how do we know? This is how in this conventional world. Just go to the court. Court case. With the court case. Did you see Ranagarj at the time of, say, 12:20 when you are supposed to be meditating? Right? Instead of meditating, you are having discussion. Yes, I've seen him. Finish. Ranagarj, I saw you, yes. At this time, you say yes. Then, done. The court case will say that yes, 100% Ranagarj was in this place. Court case, the court judge will not ask me whether you've seen Ranagarj's mind, Ranagarj's, the heart, lungs. They will not ask me that. Did you see Ranagarj? I saw that. We were together, I was talking with him. Right? That's the final evidence. This is the evidence how that you are present here. I don't have to go into the Ranagarj's mind. Right? So, if I say, oh, Ranagarj's mind, I've seen Ranagarj's mind, this is something which ordinary people, the court will not handle. Court will say that this is rubbish. You have seen Ranagarj, finished. Now whether you see the mind, this is not our business. Right? So, this is the end of the conventional world. If you cross that, you cross the conventional world. So how do you cross that? Because Ranagarj's mind is Ranagarj, then you cross conventionality. Right? The crossing conventionality is going to the ultimate, going to the objective. So in a way you're looking for objective Ranagarj or ultimate existence Ranagarj. Right? This is so important. Why this is very important is that making the distinction between Prasangika and Sautantrika, this is a very difficult point. And finally, I personally feel that this is the final point which will help you to distinguish between Prasangika and Sautantrika. Robinji, you have a question?
Yeah, so people who believe, who are just looking at via the conventional analysis, people who believe or are just looking at via the conventional analysis, so they believe in a person, but they believe in their mind as well. If they don't, then they should not believe in reincarnation.
Okay, in fact,
because we are not going
okay, let's say
beyond the conventional analysis.
Okay, Robinji, what you're saying is that if somebody believes in the convention analysis, the person, on the basis of convention analysis, then?
So, the story ends at that person because we are not going beyond the convention.
Okay, somebody who accepts the person on the basis of the convention analysis, so that person doesn't go beyond conventionality. Very good.
Yeah.
What next?
In that case, that person won't get reincarnated. Because
In which case?
That person won't get reincarnated.
Okay, that person won't get reincarnated. Why?
Because they are not going to the ultimate analysis.
Okay, so let's say.
Or because then they don't believe in their mind because we are only looking at
the person
yeah.
without looking at the mind.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, that's okay, very interesting question. Say, when you employ the conventional analysis to look at the person, you're not looking at the person's mind. Right? What actually transmigrates is the mind. So therefore, in this analysis, the mind transmigrating is out of sight. So if it is also out of sight of this analysis, then whatever is outside the conventional analysis should go into ultimate analysis. Right? And the ultimate analysis, nothing exists. So therefore the mind transmitted to the next life should be non-existent. Wow, it's interesting. Wow. Do you follow the question? Robin must be a natural philosopher. You are a natural philosopher. Wow. Maybe you have taken philosophy as a subject? No. How come that you okay, this is a good question. Okay, let me say. ultimate analysis of the flower does not touch the ultimate, no. Conventional analysis of the flower will not touch the conventional analysis of Robin. Conventional, within the domain of conventional analysis, there are innumerable conventional analysis. Conventional analysis of flower, we will talk only about the flower, not about the Robin. Conventional analysis of Robin will not talk about the flower. Conventional analysis of identifying Robin will not talk about the Robin reincarnating. Conventional analysis of no Robin, take reincarnation, will not touch the Robin per se. Right? Within the Robin, there are so many conventional analyses. One analysis just checking who is Robin. Another analysis just checking who Robin is a philosopher. Another one is Robin transmigrating to the next life. There are so many analyses within the domain of conventional analysis. Within that, there are so many kinds. Right? Okay, good.
Geshela, can we say, for example, I apprehending mind versus an I grasping mind? So the I apprehending mind that just sees that there is an I is what transmigrates as opposed to I grasping.
Do you mean to say the mind which apprehends the I?
Mind apprehends the I.
The mind
at appearance level says there is an I. So that's what not the I grasping mind which is erroneous.
The mind which grasps the I and the mind which apprehends the I, these two are different. This is what you say?
Yes. And so that apprehending mind is what transmigrates as opposed to this I. The mind which apprehends the I will transmigrate. So that would be no,
there's no problem. The mind which grasps the I will not transmigrate.
If that transmigrates, then we can say that.
Does it transmigrate or not? The mind which grasps the I, this mind does it transmigrate to the next life? Both travel. The fact that we are in samsara now, because of the result of transmigration, this self-grasping feelings.
They both travel, but then we can say, then if we accept that, that mind is objectively existing, then we can say that the mind is objectively existing, right? According to this, that's what I'm asking.
Okay. And would you mind saying it again?
So
there are two minds. Yes. Mind apprehending the I and the mind grasping the I, two.
So then if you say that implicitly, if the mind exists as a self,
yes.
If you accept
the mind to be the self, implicitly you are saying that the self exists objectively. Yes.
Right. So in that case, then this I grasping mind is the one that we are pointing out as saying.
Then what mind sees the self as objective real is that the mind which grasps at the self to be objective real. That's mind. So what's the problem?
So that's the self that we are accepting then if we're saying that mind exists beyond conventional analysis. Is that what we're saying? Maybe I'm confused.
Okay, so now the point is, let's say there are two minds. The mind which apprehends the self, or the I, and the mind which grasps at the I. The mind which grasps at the I is the one which sees the objective existence I. So this mind which grasps as the self to be objectively existent, this mind views the mind to be the self.
Yes.
Perfect.
There's only one mind. But there's only one mind.
Okay, so they are the mind in the different streams.
Yes. At different times.
At different times, right? One time, yesterday, before the 3 days ago, one views the mind to be the self. Then after studying Bodhisattva Shantideva's text, then you release this. This is a wrong view, so I will not hold it anymore. Now you have a mind apprehending the self, not viewing this mind to be the self. So the change happened in the stream of the consciousness. Within that, the first moment, grasp at the self, the mind to be the self, and later on, it apprehends. It doesn't grasp at the self to be objective real. It simply apprehends the self, right? So it happens. It doesn't happen. These two things do not happen simultaneously. These two happen in sequence. That's perfect. Very good.
What is the difference between grasping and apprehension?
Wow. What's the difference between grasping and apprehending? So let me see. Grasping has a negative connotation. Grasping has a negative connotation. Apprehending is neutral. It's neutral. So therefore, because grasping has a negative connotation, when I say I grasp, it has a connotation of distortion here. The mind is distorted.
Can I say it's based in ignorance?
Very good. Because it is distorted, it is mixed with ignorance. Either it is ignorance or it is mixed with ignorance. But it's apprehending, it is neutral. It can be ignorance, it can be valid mind, it can be, for example, apprehending the self to be objectively real. This is mistaken mind, ignorance. Apprehending the self to be empty of objective existence. This is valid mind, right? And positive mind. Or apprehending the self is a very boring person. That's a neutral mind. Right? Yes.
Before this, you told that apprehension through analyzing the self. So this analysis happens in the ultimate domain. In conventional domain, we analyze that, or in ultimate domain, when we see nothing exists, the self doesn't exist objectively, that time we analyze that.
Okay, analysis. When do we do the analysis? Do we do the analysis in the conventional domain or in the ultimate domain? This question. Very good question. What's the answer?
Usually ultimate. When we're sitting in class, we're doing ultimate domain, right?
Say it again.
Ultimate domain.
In the ultimate, not in the conventional domain. Okay. What is 2 plus 3?
5.
And what is the E equals MC square? What E equals MC cube? No, E equals MC square. What is that? Equals MC cube or MC cube or MC square? Okay, I'm analyzing this. So this analysis, is this an ultimate domain or a conventional domain?
Conventional.
Still in the conventional domain. So analysis, they are both. Analysis can be done in the conventional domain and the ultimate domain. In the court cases, in the court, all this analysis is happening. The lawyers, they are competing with the analysis. Whose analysis is more refined? Now on that basis, they will win the case, right? So analysis, the analysis happening in the court is what? Ultimate analysis, conventional analysis. Only conventional analysis, right? So analysis is done in both levels. Conventional analysis, in both cases. There's conventional analysis as well as ultimate analysis. Now, what Indra is saying is what the true in what sense. Okay, sometimes analysis, when this word analysis, sometimes we should be very contextual. Sometimes it implies the ultimate analysis. When we say things exist unanalyzed, things exist only unanalyzed. The moment you analyze, things disappear. So here, when we say the things exist unanalyzed, this is analysis is according to terms of the ultimate. So we should be very contextual. We should know the context, right?
First, don't go beyond.
No, Acharya Prabhupada said we can go. Acharya Chandra said don't go beyond.
So in that case, if you don't go beyond, then everything is objectively existent.
Don't go beyond when looking for the self.
That if you're looking for anything, don't go beyond. Don't just say don't go beyond. Don't go beyond what? Beyond conventionality. Make it very clear. Don't go beyond conventionality for anything. You can analyze within the conventionality. The moment you go beyond conventionality and analyze, then things will all disappear.
So that has to be analyzed. That will not.
Yes, that needs to be analyzed, but the analysis can be done within the conventional domain.
Ultimate analysis can be done in the ultimate domain.
Okay, this is a good question. Ultimate analysis, can we do the ultimate analysis in the conventional domain? No, ultimate domain is good. No. Any analysis, whether ultimate analysis or conventional analysis, all have to be done within conventional domain. Conventional domain and conventional analysis, these two are different. Right? Everything exists in the conventional domain. Even ultimate also exists in the conventional domain. Right? Okay. Interesting.
When does you do the meditation?
Okay, when will you do the meditation? Who's to be blamed? I said at 12 we'll do it, and who's to be blamed? The first person was the first who requested the meditation. Second person to be blamed was who said, please do it, after, within these 2 times. These 2 people are to be blamed that we could not do it.
Please don't blame me, I really want to.
No, I'm joking. After crossing 12, I was checking, right? I was about to start meditation, and then the Russian asked the question. Followed by Amen, right? Amen. Okay.
We are not very hungry.
Sorry?
We are not very hungry.
Okay. I think what would say, no, it doesn't matter. So the point is that don't worry, we will surely do this, right? So in fact, this was my thought, because I already said that we were going to do the second session, so I was keen to do it. Otherwise, I'm more keen to do it tomorrow. Right? Tomorrow, second session. You getting it? Provided nobody asks me questions at that time. Okay. 3 prostrations.